Oh, I need to open Live Split. Crap.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blast the Process 3. We are raising money for Save the Children, and we have Claris here starting off the Sonic block for the next several hours. We'll be doing nothing but Sonic games, starting off with the newest one on the list, Sonic Mania Plus. Hello, Claris.
Hi.
Oh, just knocked over my grits. Hi, Claris. How are you doing today?
Doing okay.
Good. Well, hopefully that okay translates into an amazing run, which I'm sure it will. Without any further ado, Claris, you can introduce yourself and your commentators.
Hi, I'm Claris. We've also got Zaxxon
Hello.
and Joey Baby.
Hi.
Yep. You all ready? I can go ahead and count you down.
Okay, oh, I don't have a clear slot. Delete. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Thanks.
Alright, so explain a little bit about the differences between the original mode and Encore mode. So with this mode, now you will have the ability to take control of two characters, opposed to just have an AI partner or just a solo character. So you can switch them on the fly, and that'll resort to a bunch of tricks and neat little things later on the run. Also, for any Mighty fans out there, say your final goodbyes, because this is the last time you're gonna see them. So
Poor Mighty.
this is the Ray show now. Ray's gonna take over.
Yeah, basically Sonic, Ray, and Tails is the main trio in this run. Mighty and Knuckles don't. Knuckles comes in for a little bit, but
Yeah. A very little bit. Don't get your hopes up.
Extremely brief, but better limelight than Mighty, I will say that. So, Green Hell Act 1, it'll give you a small taste of what Ray is capable of, since his ability, which is a flight, well, glide, I guess a mixture of Tails and Knuckles, can just maneuver good portions of the level like it's nothing. So he's a real valid asset to this run. Ooh. Okay, so one thing I need to bring up. Tails is also very important in this run. You do not want to have Knuckles early on. You want to get him much later. So it's important that Claris gets Tails here.
yeah, the timing for the item boxes, they are set. Well, when they come on screen, I think. But this one is kind of tough to time, just because you're going like really fast, and you want to make sure that you hit it fast as well.
Yeah.
But she got it that time.
Yeah. So it's important that she gets these characters in a specific order, because they go at an order. So now Tails is on the back burner. If she got Knuckles first, she would have to get Tails later, and it'll just mess up the order, thus messing up the routing. So it's important she gets the characters at specific points.
Yep.
Act 2, not much to say here, but just more of Ray taking advantage of that flight.
Yeah, these are out of Encore. These are just the straightforward levels. Nothing too fancy. Just you get to see first hand of Ray's glide, and yeah, going into this wall to get the speeches is sometimes a little difficult because it's, I don't know, you have to go like on the exact frame, I think.
Yeah, it's
Or
not
pixel.
pixel perfect, but if it's not, it's close to it. It's a very
Yeah.
difficult jump to it. But since we don't want Knuckles at this point, we have to take the hard way in getting those speeches.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a good thing it's possible at all, I guess.
This Great Hill does not like me today.
Yeah, this boss is just simple. Just stand underneath him and just hit him 8 times.
Much more simple than it is in Sonic 2. Because at least you have rings for this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Hill 1. Well, Green Hill in general, nothing much to talk about. Just Ray just doing Ray things. Chemical Plant 1, also not much to say other than it's very important to do specific jumps in the slopes to maintain speed and gain the speed, of course. So, and if you jump at any point like incorrectly, you can lose all that speed, which would be a big time loss. So timing your jumps on the slopes are very important. And now Claris is gonna switch Sonic for Tails, and this is gonna be the lineup you're going to see for pretty much the majority of the run.
Yeah.
So this Ray and Tails and Ray is the best combo for this category. Their use of flight and glide serves real handy for a couple glitches you'll see later.
Yeah, it's like, please grab a ring, Ray. That's kind of close.
Yeah, the boss is no pushover, just damage boost the boss.
Now here's where the real fun begins for this run.
Yeah. So they're gonna be introduced to a new glitch that's gonna be very prominent in the run. We're gonna call it a partner clip. So if you have yourself line up on a corner of a ceiling and call in your partner, they can get clipped into the wall, which will scale them vertically, which is very different than the past games where you can zip horizontally. This game is vertical, so it'll be very useful for the remainder of the run. And if you blinked and missed that one, don't worry, there's a couple hundred later on in the run.
I thought that worked.
And it will serve useful for our first boss skip of, if any of you were hyping up Puyo Puyo for like the past 3 minutes, I'm sorry to disappoint, you're not going to see it here.
Bye, Puyo.
We're gonna skip that like it's nothing. Sorry. We don't pride ourselves good at puzzle games, so we'll just skip it, no problem.
And if you thought that level was broken.
Yeah, that was pretty insane, but this is much different. This is a different scale of broke. So there will be a skip. Well, before I explain it, let's see Claris pull it off.
Time! It's too fast for the spin dash.
Ah, okay. Okay, so the idea here is Claris is trying to actually take a death, but at the very next frame, she wants to have Ray bump the bumper right above, and with that would cancel the death animation, and that would put the characters in a quote-unquote zombie state, and with that would ignore.
Got it.
Nice. That would ignore like all object collision, and most importantly the screen lock. So now Claris is just rapping from behind the stage, like from the very beginning, flying backwards to the end of the stage, and with very precise movements in the void here, she can reach the signpost behind the boss fight.
Oh my god.
Skipping the longest fight in the game.
That was not the most precise movement. Shoot. Oh no.
Oh. Okay, so if you miss getting this, you're pretty much falling all the way back down, but eventually you'll reach on the top of the screen again, so you essentially have infinite tries to go through this, but it's difficult without without seeing anything.
Okay.
You're pretty much finding this signpost blindly.
Even with the death and how long that took, that was still faster than fighting the boss. So,
Yeah, like it's important to emphasize how big of a skip this was. If first try you skipped like 2 minutes of the stage, dying and then pulling it off there was still faster than doing it normally.
Yeah, it's one of the longest bosses in the game, and not to mention, there's RNG to it as well. So it's a really nice skip.
Yeah, this stage, another good showcase of Ray's ability, flying through a good majority of the level. And we have another partner clip a little shortly here, skipping a good 20 seconds of this level if you played it normally. And a good reason Tails is really important is because since his flight, you can stick on walls and, you know, corner of walls. It'll make setups for these partner clips much more easier had you have any other character. So his hitbox, his flight to like vertical paths, and setting up partner clips makes them really useful.
So the reason we use like Ray a lot is because his glide is really fast and he's just really fast in general. But the reason we use Tails is things like this. He can just kill the boss, like a lot of bosses that are just higher up. And well, and for partner clip as well. But that's just one instance there.
If you want a really good reason why we have Ray, Flying Battery in general is a great spot, minus all the the screen lock shenanigans just earlier, which we'll see again later. So yeah, Flying Battery midway in the stage has a portion where you fly under the level, under the Flying Battery, which saves like a good portion of time. It's I would say it's relatively difficult getting it down, but there's a difficult version for Act 2.
oh, okay, I did mess it up. I almost had it.
Yeah, like it's really easy to mess it up if like the slightest thing goes wrong. But yeah, Ray flying under the battery will make quick work of a good mid-section of the level.
This is how I wanted it to go the first time, so that's good.
Yeah, this is Encore speedrunning in a nutshell. There's so many things that can just like stab you in the heart, because these are not easy tricks, and a lot of them are like big time losses, especially since dying will cost the life of your character, which you want for the whole run. So dying is pretty much a big time loss.
Yeah.
And it's not easily like remedied by just finding a character box, and Sonic's lineup is gonna like screw up the routing.
Yeah, so it's not like Mania mode, you just go to the last checkpoint. You are most likely gonna have to restart the entire stage if you die, because you need to get your character back.
Yeah, thankfully restarting gives you like exactly what you had starting the stage normally. So we're thankful for that, but that just means that, you know, any big mistake that would cost our character, we would have to restart the entire stage.
So we've already seen a couple boss skips this run, and this stage is no different. Another boss skip coming at you, and this is probably one of the most unique ways with the raised glide and precise.
Yeah, it's much more precise than the first one, so let's see if she gets it.
Got first part!
Good.
Got it!
Nice! Alright, so what happened there was, well, the first part is skipping like a mid-section level, just like Act 1. And the second portion where she's flying above, like under the ceiling, that's despawning a death plane that's normally there. and at nosediving at a certain point, she'll just fly right behind the capsule, skipping the whole boss fight. So good stuff.
Yeah, really good. So this stage is mostly as intended, just going around the press garden. There's like 1 or 2 partner clips, I think, but
It is the worst partner clip in the game.
Yeah, it's the most finickiest one. We've looked into it like for so long. We still don't know why it works and why it doesn't. Well, we know why it works. We don't know why it doesn't work sometimes. That's a more accurate explanation.
And it didn't work, cause yeah.
Yeah, like she got the clip, but then Ray was like, nope, and
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
you just got spit out for no reason. Honestly.
Like, it's not that big of a time save, but it's still annoying to not get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just meandering through the close quarters of Press Garden with a couple of partner clips that'll save a bit of time. But all in all, it's a very as intended stage, and I mean that literally.
Yeah, as intended guy has a different meaning in the Sonic community a lot of the time.
So Claris would want to get to the left side of this boss fight to just get a quicker death to this boss, since that's where it resides. And hitting these colored boxes will like reveal its weak spot, or not reveal it, but like remove the blockage to get to the weak spot.
Yeah.
And now Claris is gonna want to be above ground during this whole act clear sequence, because normally the screen transition would walk you to Act 2, but with getting above ground and landing after the screen clears, you have control of Ray afterwards, which you can spin dash to Act 2, which will save a decent amount of time.
Are there any mods watching the stream right now? Anyway, I preferred to go Sonic here. Like, we all have our different methods for this stage.
Yeah, Claris prefer to have Sonic here, just for drop dash. It makes it more, I guess it's just a preference thing. It's not big of a time loss, if anything, but it is a nice change of routing.
Yeah, nice fire shield here, so she can break these ice blocks, fly on up, and then I'm guessing she's gonna do the fast way to skip the boss.
Yeah.
She's pretty good at it.
Do a boss skip here, if done right.
Yeah, very nice. Just gotta get this last part.
Oh, that was close. That was close.
Ooh, okay. So what happened there is there's a trigger there's a trigger on that log before the boss fight, and if you pass it with your primary character, it screen locks the area where you can't have Tails fly up at a certain point. But if you have Ray, your partner, bypass it and then switch to Ray past the trigger, you will ignore that trigger. So when you bring back Tails, you can fly over the boss fight. Fly over the boss. But then you would have to have Ray spin dash below, because if you have your partner bypass the boss trigger, that would cause the boss skip to not be possible. So it's just it's a matter of manipulating your characters to skip by triggers, which will allow a boss skip. This is a nice level for Ray to just really just fly through, especially the spike pendulums and the little spike bars midway.
Yeah, it's a pretty for not being like super vertical stage. It's a nice precise movements with Ray here. And then there's just a lightning bug boss. You just hit him a couple times, kill his minions, and then there you go.
Just defeat the head honchos. And there you go. It's like it wasn't even there. This is like one of my favorite stages with Ray. By foot, you can get like a pretty decent time, but with Ray, you can fly like the majority of the level, which saves like not as much time as you think, but it's definitely the most flashier. Oh no. All right, well, if you go off route and Act 2 of this level, it's probably best to restart just because we're not very familiar going off route here, since it's just a very fast-paced level. So
I mean,
messing up
even if you are familiar going off-road at that point, it's probably better to just restart.
Yeah, like the path we're taking is just it's just a clear path without anything really in the way.
Yeah, and so many of the other paths could be a lot slower. So
yeah.
Alright, so there's 2 phases coming up for this boss, but we skipped the first one with a few partner clips, and hope that we don't soft lock either.
Yeah, so here's another partner clip midway that skips the first phase of this, which is Silver Sonic, which you may remember from one of the Game Gear games. That would skip the first phase, and that'll just take you to the last phase, which Claris wants to be careful getting to, because there's a chance you can get a soft lock if metal is positioned at a certain point. So she wants to make sure that metal is on the left side of the screen, just to be on the safe side, to not get the soft lock.
Yeah. If you want to see a soft lock, go watch my AGDQ race with Joey and Zaxxon, where I did soft lock.
Oh, you saw Tails.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That was really that's not how the boss should be taken care of, but it worked out in the end. I was going to say, you see Tails dying there, that's because you don't want to be behind the boss. If you get hit backwards, you're completely done. You have to just take the death, because you're not getting out of that, despite Claris doing so.
Yeah, that was I always find that boss scary, but Joey and Claris make it look easy, but still got it.
Alright, so here's another big glitch in this run. It's akin to the death glitch you saw in Studiopolis, except we're setting it up using getting ourselves drowned in this stage. So we want to have Tails drown in the hands of the grab enemy underwater, and if you release its grasp at a certain point, you will drown, but you will still be alive. So you'll be in a zombie state again, but we will not be level wrapping. We will just continue on to level, since we already spent a good minute into the level getting to this point. So now she just has to time this really well. Easy gets it.
Oh.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, so now you can see Tails just meander through these rings, these collision and all that. Just like what Ray did in Studiopolis. So now she's gonna go to the top part of the level, to just bypass an invisible wall that's normally above the ceiling, and just fly over the whole level. Unfortunately, she's gonna have to quote-unquote trigger the boss, because that's just something you can't avoid. But afterwards, you can just spin dash right into the signpost, skipping the actual fight.
Yeah, so normally without doing what she did, you can't really go above these ceilings this easy. And go through all the walls that you just saw as well, so.
Nice.
Really good stage. And then
This
I
goes-
still have control, because... yeah.
Yeah, this collision state is great because they just ignore most of the limitations they give you during certain sections, like an act clear or a pause screen. You still have control of your character. And now this is my absolute favorite glide in this whole category. So it doesn't save time, but if you get a precise good amount of speed on this slope and go backwards and jump upwards, you could just skip good portion of the level, which normally you would just, you know, oh, I have tails, fly up there. But if you just have good amount of speed, you could just have Ray just get up there. Which is really flashy to see. I love it. And also, I want to point out, since you really want to keep the lineup you have, it's really important to avoid all swap boxes from here on out. Because that would just completely screw up your routing if you grab one. Since Sonic will be ahead, and then you have a character that's really important to the run, which could be either Tails or Ray, on the back burner, and you do not want that.
You definitely do not want that.
So just skipping a couple path swappers. She skipped a path swapper earlier in the level and then just goes right through that slide right there.
And there's a little trick here for this boss fight. If you bring in Tails at a certain point, Tails will unfortunately not cooperating. So normally what would happen is Tails would stay on the right side of the screen, hitting one bomb, and then you hit the other, causing two hits to the boss. And then when Tails goes off screen, Claris can bring back Tails for a damage boost for a third hit. But since Tails wants to just be a troublemaker, he did not cooperate, and she would have to get 2 additional hits to the boss now.
What?
What? Wow.
Alright, we're learning new things as we go. We did not know you could damage boost midway in that fight.
I didn't even know Tails could respawn in time for another hit. That's crazy.
Okay, well, crisis averted. We did not know that. Claire, stop finding things like in Marathon. Actually, well, please do, because it's kind of helping for the greater good, but like, it's only in marathon runs. Also, fun fact, this is the only cutscene you cannot skip, so you want to walk right to trigger the actual transition.
Yeah, I think if you hold down, do you like
Yeah.
soft lock? Or
Yeah,
something?
if you hold down or left, you're totally stuck and can't do anything.
Also,
Yeah.
you saw Claris pick up Knuckles here, so Knuckles will be useful for a boss skip much later on. It doesn't matter at what point you get Knuckles, as like after you get you know, your lineup back in
Yeah,
Chemical
as long
Plant
as he's
1.
in the correct spot on your lineup, then you're good to go.
Yeah, like
yeah. She just chooses to get Knuckles here because you know, Knuckles is just in the way at that point, so it doesn't really like matter much as long as Knuckles is easy pickings.
whoa.
So yeah, a good flight to the gun there.
Yeah, this stage is actually, I think it's semi-long, but doing this route and using that partner clip at the end there, you skip a big portion.
Yeah, the partner clip is actually like a big time save. I don't know how much it is, but I think it's like, at the very least, like half a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess we should mention that, like, barely missed. This stage is brand new to Encore mode. Like, most stages are just slightly altered, like, layouts and stuff.
Yeah.
But
True.
that one was brand new.
So this stage will have a new another boss skip, which I think it's one of the more easier ones. It's just manipulating Tails to hit the capsule himself.
Nice little jump right there.
But yeah, this is a relatively short level. Not much to say here. Just good timings on the gunshots and getting the good jumps up slopes. And before we know it, you're at the very end. So you don't want to get through the barrels to the boss fight with your primary character. You're gonna want to have your partner go under and then spin dash to the right to get Tails to hit the capsule below. There we go.
Nice. Going back in the boss area just for fun.
Yeah.
You get to
Just
see
say-
him for a split second.
Just say hi to Magician, just for like, hey, hi, bye. And now we're in Oil Ocean. This is a stage you don't see much of with Ray, since he can just fly through like a good portion of the beginning section. Yeah, this stage kind of just like plays itself, minus like a random box you just want to make sure you avoid.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, that one, like, if you bump that wall up right above it, you're pretty much gonna hit that. And if you try to retreat to the left, you're hitting that cannon just on the left. So it's very important to make sure you get that jump, you time that jump carefully. We have Bob the Builder, easily the hardest boss in the game, as you can see, dying in 3 seconds.
Man, the more and more that you get to this part, the more and more I wonder, like, what were they thinking when they made this boss?
It's the worst boss, because, like, the only threat to you is that it crush tests you, and you can't see it coming in advance.
Yeah, so Tails can actually... Oh, well, first of all, you keep the smoke on screen, or the fog, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
but doing
that would normally like reduce your ring count, but without triggering it, it won't.
Yeah. And using Tails Flight at the beginning there skips a nice portion. And then here comes a very interesting part.
Yeah, having a partner clip there skips a really important path swap trigger, which would did that?
I don't,
no, she got the collision. All right.
yeah, I don't
interesting
know what's going on now.
All right, so I guess I should continue explaining then. So what Claris did there is partner swap through skipping a really important trigger, which would set the tone for the rest of the stage. All right, and that would cause to lose collision for the majority of the level, which can have Ray skip the boss. But unfortunately, there are certain things that still have collision at that state. So it's best to avoid all of that, because at any wrong turn, that could cause death. Or, you know, another worst case scenario of getting back in collision, which would prevent the boss to be skipped.
No, Tails, no, don't do this. Don't do this, please.
Yeah, this is a stage that can go horribly wrong if, like, the slighted things just doesn't go in your favor.
But yeah, basically, I don't know if it was said, but she's like, she's in another path swapper, so she's actually like in the background. So that's the reason she can go through all these walls and stuff.
Yeah, with correct timing, correct timing going up and down with the glides there, she can avoid certain collision that's still intact. And you can get right above the capsule and just launch right below to hit it. Also, a cute little trick here. If you, well, not a trick, more like a necessary thing after getting the boss skip. So you can't skip the cutscene after getting the boss trigger, so you just have to die. Just get to the next level.
Yeah, that section is really messed up after skipping the boss.
Yeah, so you may notice that the music is gone and the timer is not going off. So the game is currently at a weird state where it doesn't know if you've beaten the level yet, or have you started this level yet entirely. So she's in a state where she can't pause or switch her partner. And the one of the ways to remedy this is to kill off your partner, or kill off one of your characters. Don't worry, you'll see Ray later. So what that will do is, now you have Sonic. His use is definitely useful, so it's not like we only did this because the glitch has to make us do it. It'll be useful for a boss strat for Lava Reef Act 2. But now you have control of swapping your partners. It will be able to do a little partner clip later on, which give a decent portion of the level. So enjoy this little duo here. It won't be for long.
Also, after a death, the timer starts going again.
Yeah, so it'll look like you did much better than the stage shows, but that's only because 30 seconds was not accounted for.
Yeah, if I didn't die, then I could just beat the stage with the time of 0, so...
We should switch over to IGT for main timing.
But now, so the next set of music you hear is the speed shoes, and after the speed shoes is over, you'll hear the beautiful sounds of Lava Reef 1 again.
That should not have gone as well as it did.
Yeah, so that's the partner clip. If she didn't die early on, this would not be possible, just because you wouldn't be able to switch.
That should not have gone as well as it did.
That worked out pretty well.
So so you're actually like going all the way to the right side of the screen and coming back into the boss room. The cutscene after is right there, but if you spin dash down it, you just die and go nowhere. It doesn't activate like the end. You actually have to beat the boss for you to get to the next levels.
Yeah, a good source of why these boss skips work is because there's always at least a stationary signpost or capsule behind the boss. But since these are one of these bosses where a signpost spawns above, coming down after the boss is defeated, this is not a boss you can just normally skip. Had there been a signpost behind it, it would have been possible, but alas, it's not the case, so we just have to fight the boss normally. Here's a little tricky partner clip here. There's a set of spikes that rotates in a cycle, and Claris wants to make sure to get the partner clip before she gets sniped off the corner there. There you go.
Unfortunately, I know how to time it based on the platforms below it, and where those platforms are at.
Yeah, the rest of the level is just respecting cycles and just making sure you don't go off route based on, you know, a flame cycle just kind of screwing you over, which can definitely happen.
Yeah.
Especially the one before that before that checkpoint there. If it shoots while you're trying to go past it, it'll just make you fall right to the path below, which is what you don't want.
Yeah.
So basically what Joey was saying earlier, I'll add on to that, and like any stage that has a capsule or a signpost that's actually spawned in at the very end, you can skip in some way or another, but if it's not spawned in, you have to actually fight the boss or whatnot to progress. So Claris is about to get to this boss and use a nice little flame dash strat. That Sonic can only use the elemental shields to their full ability, so it's important to have him here.
It's definitely possible to do this.
I got totally distracted by a problem with my webcam, so
Yeah, so normally you could just wail on this boss, just hitting with the flame dash, then recoil and then just go for another dash. So you can get like a easy, quick 5 hits on its first appearance. But yeah, so Sonic is useful because he's the only character that can make use of elemental shields. You can make good, quick work with this boss without it, but it's just much more easier with Sonic. So it's just best to have him for this part at any given moment. So, Metallic Madness Act 1. This is a very, very tricky stage that it's very important to explain. So, first off, you don't ever want to go below route. It's completely slow, wastes so much time. If that ever happened, it's probably best to just restart the entire stage. But you just want to stay in the top route, and then this is where Knuckles is going to be useful. Close to the end, there's going to be a set of boxes with a character that she can get, which is where we're going to get Ray back, with a swap box right behind it. So she's going to want to have Sonic to... Or is it Sonic or Tails? I don't remember. Do we have Tails get swapped out? Yeah, I think we have Tails get swapped, because you want to... No, I'm wrong. No.
yeah, you get Sonic swapped. It's like you threw me off for a bit. It's like, oh god, I have to like remember who I get swapped out.
Okay. I want to emphasize the routing for this category has been changed like probably like a week ago, so we just had like thing on the fly here. But yeah, so you want to have Sonic get swapped out for Knuckles, and then that would put Ray next in line, because this is where you get Ray. So that would have Knuckles and Tails next in line. You want to have Knuckles finish the level, but to speed up the process, you want to have Knuckles die at a certain point, which would prompt us to lose him, but have Ray next in line. So Knuckles is only used. It's the. Oh. Alright, well, okay, so it's something I have to bring up. So it's the death, it has to be very precise. If you die too early, you lose Knuckles and you have to start the stage back from the last checkpoint. And we all know if you lose your lineup, you have to restart, because it's just not worth it. If you die too late, you suffer a 15-second penalty to start the stage again, and you have to restart since you're stuck in a wall. So she wants to die precisely, or have the die register when the text screen is going off screen.
What the hell?
Start to start Act 2 without Knuckles, but have Tails and Ray in the lineup. So it's a really precise trick.
So she's going to be attempting it again, getting Knuckles, and hopefully Knuckles will cooperate this time. Alright, nice. So that's how it should look.
Yeah.
And basically, there's actually a pretty newer skip found, and it's going to yeah, you can explain it.
Yeah, so it's important that she loses the least amount of rings as possible for Act 1, because when skipping that boss to Act 2, you well, let's just see her get it first.
Frame 4, oh my god.
Nice. Okay, so she wants to pull off another death zombie glitch here, just so she can die on that spring there. So it's important that she lost rings in Act 1, because the ring count transitions to Act 2 because of how the boss skip was handled. And she has to get hit by those missiles, those bullets from the bomb enemies at a really precise point. It's a 4-frame trick, and getting it right will cause this to happen. So you get it.
I have to get Tails to hit the capsule for me, like, largely blindly. Oh, that was close. I very nearly messed it up because the capsule is almost off screen. See, like that, and
yeah, if you can't push the screen further, once you get further to the left, you can't push it back to the right. So it's important that she doesn't go too far left. And there's also a chance that Tails can get caught under the capsule, which would, you know, cause the boss skip to not be possible, since you can't get Tails off of it.
Yeah, that's good job. It was pretty much identical to Studio 1. Well, at least the level wrap part.
Yeah, the level wrap definitely. The method to get it, definitely different and tricky. So we're gonna do a pretty difficult partner swap here. She wants to have Ray get caught kind of in this little uneven corner there to get Ray up there, which skips like 20 seconds, and it's a really useful skip there.
Yeah, the thing with partner clip, it doesn't always have to be a corner. Sometimes it can be like, I don't know what to call them. They're kind of like weirdish corners, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as like the ceiling, like if the ceiling gets like an uneven like ceiling like on it, like you can see you're getting clipped while there was like a slant on the right side, it could still be possible. It doesn't have to be a straight wall going down. As long as it gets uneven later on, it's possible.
Yeah, there's a couple cool partner clips there, and then Tails is small
Like here's
enough-
another one.
Yeah.
Like if it's a bit uneven like that, it's more than likely possible to pull it off.
Yeah, this boss is just green eye, red eye, whatever, and you just yeah, just damage boost, and then it's nice to have Tails because if the elevator goes up like this, you can just fly on up, and the gravity doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, normally there's heavy gravity at random on that, and so like those characters just can't hit the boss, and it sucks.
Yeah, every S3K runner's favorite boss fight. We all know that, right? But yeah, for this level, the normal intended way is to go to 4 separate rooms and unlock the path to the final boss. This boss, with partner clipping, we do not care. We can just use these clips to like skip to the end of each room, and we can just finish this level in like less than a minute and a half.
Yeah,
normally would
it's
take, like,
pretty
3 minutes.
incredible. Like you can pretty much just skip every room to some degree. There's actually like one room where you actually skip 2, just the way the triggers work.
Yeah, this one right here, where she's gonna go to now, she's gonna enter the end of one room, but partner swap to the end of another. And for some reason, that counts as finishing both of them. This is the only time this works. If you pull this off at any other point, it just doesn't count as 2 rooms being finished. So this is the only one of its kind. So it's a nice, cute little time save that we don't know why it happens, but we're glad it does.
Alright, good stage.
That's the last.
What? No! Oh my god.
There's a little funny thing you can do if you pause during the fade out there. The game will just cancel it out, and you'll just like, it's like it never happened. But it's just wrong timing there. But it's not a big deal.
Yeah, version 1.3 flashbacks. Trying to reset there.
So yeah, this is just making sure you destroy a hand per phase it reveals itself. You always have to fight one heavy phase before plus. You can avoid these phases as long as you destroy one hand per time it reveals its sweet point. But now for plus, you have to enter this room no matter what. But at the very least, the best optimal way is only seeing one of those rooms. If you fail to defeat one hand for like one phase it reveals itself, you have to fight a second phase.
Okay, time is coming up. Just 2 more hits on the boss. Time.
GG's.
GG.
Whew. Not my best performance in this game.
Mania giveth, Mania taketh away.
Well, it was
Still did good.
It was a fantastic demonstration of just how hard this category is.
Yeah, like one wrong move is like a good minute loss since your character lineup is so important. But yeah, that's Encore mode.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm not sure who's next, but good luck to them.
Next up is Gooby. He will be running Sonic Story in Sonic Battle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, everyone's favorite Sonic game. So thank you again, Claris and Joy Baby and Zaxxon. Do you all have anything else to say before we move it on over?
Good job, Claris, and good luck to everybody else.
Yeah, good luck to the next runners in the Sonic block. And of course, good luck. GG's Claris for the run.
Knuckles sucks. And,
Aw.
And Mighty
uh,
weeps.
good luck for the rest of the marathon. Really hope it goes well.
All right, thank you all so much. Stay tuned with us. Like I said, we'll be back in just a few minutes with Gooby's run of Sonic Battle.